Hello and welcome to today's YouTube episode. My name is Amelia and on today's sewing adventure something quite different is happening. So I'm standing here in the Ojay Room's Patterns Amelia Dress and I made this alongside Sew Amelia from the Sew Amelia YouTube channel. I'm sure if you enjoy watching sewing vlogs you've seen her channel before, but I will link it in the description box below just in case so that you can see all of her wonderful YouTube clips that she's been making and all of her amazing makes and things that she does on her sewing channel as well. So what Amelia and I did was we talked about making the Amelia dress, the dress I'm wearing now, and we didn't tell each other what we were going to make. We just knew that this was the pattern we were going to choose, but there's so many variations, so we went away and we decided what variation we would make on our own. And then earlier this week, we met up and we talked all about the pattern, so we have done a pattern review. It was so much fun to work on this project alongside Amelia, and I'm pretty sure that in the future we will be doing another vlog together, and I can't wait. I really hope you enjoy watching today's YouTube episode with Amelia from the Sew Amelia YouTube channel, and me.
Hi, I'm Amelia.
And I'm Amelia.
And welcome to our video where we're going to do a pattern review of the Ojay Room Amelia dress. Shall we start by introducing ourselves?
Yes, yeah, perfect.
So if you don't follow me, I am Sew Amelia and I'm on Instagram and YouTube. And we became friends through Instagram. And we're both from New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm Amelia, and on Instagram I'm Amelia Allen Sews, and I have just started a YouTube channel within the last couple of months and I'm really enjoying it and it's going really well.
So yeah, we thought it would be fun to get together and sew some patterns together. We did the bomber jacket, the Amelia bomber jacket last year, and then this year we've done the Ojay Room's Amelia dress. Alright, so question number one is, what drew you to the pattern and why did we want to make it?
Well, I think one of the main reasons was it was called the Amelia dress.
Yeah, I think so.
And we were trying to work our way through all the Amelia patterns. So yeah, I think that was the main reason, but also it is a really beautiful dress and it's got some really lovely features as well, and it's just something that we both wanted to make.
Yeah, I think I quite liked the look of the tiers, especially coming into the summer. It looked like a good dress.
So what fabric did we choose?
So we chose a sand-washed viscose, isn't it, from Lamazi Fabrics, and we used that to make the bomber jacket, didn't we?
We did,
Yes.
yeah. That was the
black one.
The black fabric on the inside of the tulle. Yeah.
But it was so nice to work with, and so I thought it would be really nice to use it again. So we decided to use the same fabric but different colours.
Yeah, so I've gone for the magenta colour, which is actually quite purple in real life, but it's a really beautiful colour.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, and Amelia's gone for...
I went for the blue. I think it was just called blue, but it is quite a bright cobalt blue, which I thought would be really nice for the summer. I've got like a jumpsuit, which is a similar colour to this, which I really love. I'll take this off so you can see it. It's just quite cold today in London, so put my jumper on. There we go. So yes, I went for the cobalt blue colour, which I really like. Right, what size did you choose?
Right, I chose the size medium, and that was based on my hip measurements. I didn't grade it, so it is a bit roomy at the top, but I quite like that for a dress. I think it's quite nice to have just a roomy, floaty dress, so yeah, I went medium.
I went medium as well, actually. I was just looking at the measurements. It does go from an extra small through to an extra large. So that's what, a bust of 77 centimetres up to 105 centimetres. So that's quite good.
Cool.
But yeah, I fell into a medium for my bust and then a large for my waist and hips. It fits quite snugly over the bust, which is nice, but then there's quite a lot of wiggle room in my waist and hips, which is odd because it said to size up to the large for that, so I'm glad I didn't. So yes, I made a straight size medium as well.
So did we make any hacks or alterations to the pattern?
So I think this pattern was amazing, wasn't it, in terms of the different options that it presented. So you can make it with the ruffle. I think we both went for the ruffle.
Yeah.
And and the collar. Can you leave the collar off? I think you can make it collarless as well.
Yes, I think you can. Yeah.
And then there's the short sleeves or the long sleeves, and then there's the waist channel or not the waist channel. I didn't count how many options, but there are so many. So I didn't actually hack anything. I just decided which bits I was going to leave on and which bits I was going to take off. So you'll see I've made the short sleeve version, and I have done the collar with the frill, but I didn't do the tie.
Yes.
What about you?
So I went for the tie collar, as you can see, which I really like. I went for the ruffle collar, and also I went long sleeve, but I didn't make the sleeve placket on the sleeves. I just went for elastic, and I think I just really like that finish on. I think it looks nice. You can see the sleeves have got quite a lot of room in them. So yeah, and I also didn't do the waist channel. I did take 3 centimeters off the bodice because I do have quite a short torso, and I'm just really pleased with it. It looks good.
Because I think it's meant to be quite a low-waisted dress, isn't it?
It is.
And so I think we both decided not to put the waist channel in because that would have ended up around our hips.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
But I think I might go in later and make the waist, like take an inch out of the waist because it is quite low.
Yeah, and I also might take a bit more off mine as well because I do have a short torso. But I don't know. I'll see. I also thought about maybe adding elastic, which I've done with the Wilder gown before, and it just kind of brings it in at the waist and gives the dress a bit more shape. So I might do that in the future too.
I think I might. Yeah, I've got a bit of fabric left over. So I think I was saying to you before, I might go in and add waist ties as well because I do like the floaty thing for summer.
Yes.
But it's quite nice to have the option to bring it in if you want to. So that is in the original pattern as well. You can make the waist channel, but we'll see. I'm going to wear it for a bit first and see if I want to go in and change anything. So how were the instructions?
I found the instructions quite good.
Yeah.
What I liked about the instructions is with each written instruction there's a little picture as well. So I found them quite easy to work with, and I enjoyed making the pattern, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the instructions were fine. The only area I really struggled with was putting this collar in. I think I've just put these collars in differently before. This one was put in from the inside to the outside rather than from the outside to the inside, and I just found the instructions quite confusing. They are quite brief, so I think if you're a beginner you might want a bit more hand holding than these instructions do provide. But having said that, there is a YouTube video. I was quite confused by the collar, so I did go onto her YouTube channel and find the sew along, which really helped to just watch her and see how she did it. So I think that was great. So where the instructions were quite limited, there was a video to help.
And I really liked the way that the collar stand was actually attached, because normally you do attach it from the outside, and I just found attaching it from the inside was an interesting thing to do that I hadn't done before, and I found that it did give a really neat finish.
That's true.
So yeah,
you were actually top stitching on the top, I suppose.
Yeah, on the outside. So yeah, it's great. How would we rate the difficulty level of this pattern?
It's quite, I mean, it's a relatively easy pattern, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of gathering in the skirt, but the sleeves went in quite easily as long as you're used to setting in a sleeve, I think. This went in okay, although I do think there could have been a little bit of stay stitching added into the instructions. Would have helped to not stretch out this neckline. So I think, yes, I think I would probably say it's an intermediate pattern, because I feel like you had to know a few things going into the pattern to sort of get the finish that you wanted.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think if you tried a few of the techniques as a practice on different fabric first, I think if you were a confident beginner you could make it. But I think going into just making it, like we didn't make a trowel. No. So we just went straight in making it with our fabric. I think you're right. I think you'd have to know kind of a few of those techniques.
I think especially because the instructions are on the more basic side. They don't really hold your hand, you know, like put in your collar. So if you've put in a collar before, that's fine. But I think if you're a beginner, you'd want a little bit more perhaps detail and hand holding.
Yeah.
So are there any techniques or finishing details that you liked about the pattern?
I've already mentioned it, but I really liked the way that the collar was put on from the wrong side, and I think that this is good. I mean, especially with your one, because yours is kind of a bit more open. It just gives that nice finish to the outside when you do the top stitching on the outside.
Yeah, I think it did finish really nicely. The sleeves came set in really beautifully. There was no issue getting those to sit nicely. Other patterns, you know, when you do a set in sleeve, sometimes you're wrestling and making sure that it's all fitting in without any puckers and things. That's right. So I do think it was nicely drafted and things.
Is there anything that we didn't like about the pattern?
I think the only thing I found a bit frustrating was that there was no instruction to stay stitch the neckline. Now I probably should have done that anyway. I probably knew enough that I should have stay stitched the neckline, because it did stretch out a little bit when I top stitched. I think if I made it again, I'd put in a thin strip of interfacing to just give it a little bit more structure here.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that I didn't like. And again, I think before putting in this collar, it would have been good to stay stitch the neckline.
Yes.
I mean, I think we know about viscose, don't we? So we
Yeah,
were very,
yeah.
very careful, obviously,
Yeah.
sewing with it. So it hasn't stretched out too much, but I think it would have been helpful to have that in the instructions. That's the only thing I didn't. I mean, it's not something I don't love, but I think it would have been helpful to have.
So just one thing that I would change, or one thing I didn't quite like, was how low this neckline is here, and I think I will go back and make that a little bit higher, just because I feel like it does sit quite low on me, and that might be because of my short torso, but that is just one thing.
Yeah. I think the only other thing I thought about was there were quite a few instructions in here which were helpful, like about reducing the length of the waist and about adding on. So the sleeve piece that Amelia used finishes about an inch shorter, and then you have to add the extra length on when you make it just a short sleeve.
Yeah.
But I didn't read that initially because it's hidden, and all of these different things, which are very helpful, are hidden in different places around the pattern booklet. So I think it would have been really useful to have a chunk of instructions at the beginning talking about how to alter the pattern, because there are so many different things you can do with this pattern, which is great. But I just think it would have been useful to have all of that information in one place at the beginning of the pattern instructions. Would you make it again?
Yeah, I think I would make it again. Yeah, I think I'd choose different fabric. I feel like this is quite, for me, this feels quite 90s, and I think it might just be because of the necktie and because of the colour. Nothing wrong with that. I love the 90s. But yeah, I just think that for me this is kind of like more of a wintry look, and I do think that's to the fabric and the colour. I think for more of a spring summer look, kind of more like maybe a cotton lawn or maybe a little floral dress would I'd like to make it again in that type of fabric.
Yeah, I'd like to make it again as well. I saw an inspiration picture in a magazine that came through the door, and they'd shirred like a waist piece, and it used to be more of a floral chiffon for the spring, which I thought looked really pretty, and I'd love to use this pattern and hack it a bit more and try something different for the summer. So I think I will make it again. It's a lovely basic pattern, I think, with so many different variations.
Yeah, it is. And also I quite like the idea of just making the top version as well.
Yes.
I think that would look really nice just with jeans, and you could dress that up or dress that down as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what fabrics do we think work well for this pattern?
So I think viscose does work really well because it's got that sort of lightness, and so it works really nicely for the tiers and for that floaty feel of the dress, I think.
Yeah, I think this sandwash viscose is not like typical viscose. I feel like it's got a bit more body and a bit more structure, so I would like to try just a more kind of regular viscose, or maybe viscose drill fabric. I think that would look nice. Also chambray. Chambray would be nice. Yeah,
chambray and cotton lawn. I was going to say, similar, isn't it, to chambray? Just that lightness, especially with the sleeves. I think this is quite a nice sleeve for a cotton lawn, and that one they would look really pretty too, the longer sleeve. But I probably wouldn't go anything heavier than that. I don't think I'd make it in a poplin.
No, or I was thinking of like a needle cord or something like that. I think maybe it might be a bit too...
Maybe a bit too much. Well, that might be nice for the autumn.
Yeah, or maybe a blouse, actually.
Or you could hack the skirt too, couldn't you?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, just make one tier instead of the three and use needle cord. I think there's lots of different varieties of fabrics.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been really fun to make it. It's been fun. We've been sending each other pictures along the way, but not too much. I didn't know exactly which one you'd gone for till this morning. Yeah,
it was really exciting when Amelia opened the door and I got to see exactly how she'd made the dress.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously what variation she'd chosen and things like that, because I didn't know.
No,
and
we didn't.
I think it looks really great. So yeah.
It was fun. I think there were definitely challenges along the way. I think I was saying this morning the collar gave me conniptions. It did take me a long time to put it in, but I'm really pleased with it actually. I quite like the frill. So I'll definitely put that perhaps onto another dress as well.
Yeah, and I think it's just little things, like little tweaks, which won't take long, like making this. I think that would make it just look a lot nicer.
Yeah. And the elastic channel. I think I was just worried that it would look a bit too like blousey, but I don't think it would, because the fit is really nice. That's I probably should have made it 12, but life's too short.
Sometimes life is too short. Yeah.
So anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing our pattern review and coming along as the two Amelias. Talked about our Amelia dresses. We're hoping to do another video like this again, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So if you have got any Amelia patterns, do share them in the comments below.
We'd love to see.
We'd love to see them, and we'll see you in the next pattern review.
Yeah, we can't wait for the next pattern review.
Cannot wait. Yeah. All right, catch up with you all soon and have a lovely week full of happy sewing. See you soon.
See you.
Bye.
I really hope you enjoyed watching that one. It was so much fun to film. It's always so lovely to catch up with Amelia and talk about lots of things, but in particular sewing. So I really hope you enjoyed that. I also wanted to say a big thank you to Amelia because she actually edited that whole clip. We filmed it together and then I came home and then she actually edited it. So thank you very much for that, Amelia. And on our next project, I'll be on editing. Thank you again for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you, and I'll see you here again soon.